Welcome to Asai Rasai. If you never liked the Sri Lankan mung bean curry, I totally get it. It's one of the reasons why we never make it. So I'm here to share my recipe with you. My family thinks it's better than a dal curry, so I hope you will agree too. Here's how I make it. Before making these mung beans or green gram or mung beans, whichever you want to call it, and I'm going to be calling it whatever that comes to me at that time, soak these for about 6 to 8 hours or overnight. And you can learn more about soaking from the other video that I uploaded about how to boil mung beans. Once they have soaked, you set it aside and start tempering the ingredients. Now, I'm going to fry these until they are a nice golden brown, and that brings out the maximum flavor to the curry. So it seems like some footage is missing, but I just added the fennel seeds and the optional lemongrass or pandan leaves, and add the broken dry chilies. Now, if you want this to be moderately spicy, stick with the recipe, otherwise you can skip the chili altogether. So when you add the chilies, reduce the heat and toss it around for about 30 seconds. Then you add all the powdered spices and stir for about just a few seconds and add the green gram quickly so that the spices don't burn. Keep mixing for about 30 seconds. Depending on the type of pan you're using, you'll have to keep adjusting the temperature. Now for this clay pot, I can still use medium heat and get away with it, but if you're using a very lightweight pan, you might have to work with low temperature or medium low right throughout. Cover and cook for about 20 minutes on medium heat, and you can stir midway through. This is 20 minutes later. The liquid has simmered, as you can see, and the mung beans have cooked completely. Let's take a closer look, and you'll notice that the beans have burst open, and that's the best way to know that they are ready. Now we can add a little bit of salt, and like I always say, salt is something you can adjust even at the end. You can add more, but in the beginning and during the cooking process, always add just a little bit. For the gravy, I'm not using coconut milk since I need for it to be smooth, thick and velvety. Instead, I will grind together this much of coconut with a few spoons of the cooked curry and some leftover liquid from the green gram that I boiled this morning. You can use water or broth instead if you like. Now run this in a blender on very high power until it becomes thick. It will take about a minute or two sometimes depending on the power of your blender, but it's gonna get there eventually. And this is some more liquid that's left over from this morning's mung beans, which I will add into this curry so nothing goes waste. And you saw how we can use the coconut sparingly too. If I had extracted the milk from it, a lot of this coconut would go waste. And I used only about 2 tablespoons of coconut to get this thick gravy. So if your gravy isn't as thick as mine, don't worry, this thickens as it cools. Also, if you're really concerned, you could add a little more of the green gram and blend it again and run it a little longer until it becomes thick. I washed the blender with the remaining liquid from the previously boiled mung beans that I had, plus a little more water. And you could do the same either with water or with your broth, and just add it into the curry. And at any time, if you want to thin down the curry, if it's got too thick, you could just add a little bit of water and thin it down. If you haven't watched it yet, see my spicy boiled egg curry video. It uses a similar way to make a thick gravy and use the coconut sparingly. Add a little more salt if needed, and you could also add a squeeze of lime. And that's about it. So you can enjoy this with any type of bread, rice, hoppers, string hoppers, whatever you want. I usually serve it with rice or with sliced bread. So try it out. Like, share and subscribe to Asai Rasai. Thanks for watching.